Hi friends, I'm Coley. This is Sweet Peaches Nutrition, and today I'm going to be meal prepping a few things in the kitchen so that I have food in the fridge for those moments during the week when you just think, I don't have any more energy to cook, to think about food, I just need calories in my body now. So I'm going to show you a quick couple of recipes and basically I like to meal prep just a couple things at a time, not overwhelming so that the whole day is consumed. And sometimes for every time that you're not in the mood for cooking, sometimes you are in the mood for a nice fresh cooked meal, so I like to leave room for that as well and just have some backup things in the fridge like pasta or chili. So let's head to the kitchen and I'll show you what I'm making. We're going to start off with a super simple bread recipe, and so the equipment you'll need is a loaf pan and a scale. And I'm using my favorite cup for cup flour. So the trick to baking is to weigh your dry ingredients. So to get a good result, you want to weigh out your flour, because if we measured with cups, I guarantee our 2 cups would be different weights. So you can get the most precise measurements by using a kitchen scale if you have one. So I'm weighing out my flour, and then this recipe also has baking powder and a little bit of salt. And you can then use a stand mixer if you have one, although this isn't that labor intensive otherwise. And I'm going to put I weighed my dry ingredients directly into the bowl, and then I'm going to add in my wet ingredients, which is the buttermilk. You can see here, it's going to be a pretty shaggy dough. It doesn't come together really smooth. That's what it's supposed to look like. Then you just turn it out into your baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and I like to top mine with everything but the bagel seasoning. Next up is a super simple pasta puttanesca. So I'm going to use canned olives, capers, which are going to give it a really nice salty, briny taste, and then fresh garlic if you have it. Throw a couple cloves in, as well as an onion. And then I'm going to cook this in the pressure cooker. You can totally just cook pasta normally and heat your sauce in a saucepan, but this is kind of a cool trick. And if you're using peeled tomatoes from a can, you kind of want to break up the whole tomatoes that are in there. This is a nice and nasty job, but it just helps make a smoother sauce. And then when they're nice and crushed up, you can go ahead and add them either to the pressure cooker or to a saucepan to warm it up. Then I'm going to thin it out with a little bit of vegetable broth and dice up my onion. So if you're making it over the stove, you may not need the vegetable broth. You can decide how thick you like your sauce, but in this case, the pasta needed some extra liquid to cook in as well. So then I'm just going to basically dump everything in the pressure cooker. It's pretty simple. That bread's looking good. So this bread recipe is interesting in the fact that you start cooking it at 425 for 15 minutes, and then you lower the oven down to 400 and cook the rest for 20 minutes. And so while I'm doing that, I usually leave the oven door open for a little bit so that the heat will actually drop down to 400. Okay, and then you just add everything to the pressure cooker. I drained the olives, but I did include the caper brine to give it a little more liquid and flavor. And then if you're doing this on a saucepan, you just put all the ingredients in a saucepan to warm it up and pour it over your cooked pasta. Don't forget to salt and pepper your food. I always forget to show this part, but it's so important to making tasty food. Salt and pepper. And then for the pressure cooker, I set it to 8 minutes in this clip, but I would actually set it to 7 minutes for good tasting pasta. And then you're ready to go. And I also have chili on. Chili is so easy to make in the slow cooker. Literally all you have to do is open a bunch of cans, dump them in, add the seasoning packet, and you have a meal. Oh, look at that fluffy bread. She's gorgeous. Alright, and now my pasta is done, and so I'm just gonna take the lid off. I did use the release feature, Yum. Honestly, this is such an easy dish to make that has a really nice flavor and requires only a couple pantry ingredients. Would recommend. And that's a day of simple meal prep for me. I'll have all the recipes linked below so you can check those out if you're interested. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!